Life doesn't wait. The kids outgrow the old couch. The fridge stops working. And sometimes you just want to treat yourself to a bigger TV. That's where Aaron's comes in. With Aaron's, you can shop thousands of new products from top brands in furniture, electronics, appliances, and more. Find what you love, then pick a weekly or monthly payment plan that fits your budget. Getting approved takes less than 5 minutes, and delivery is free. No big upfront costs, no stress. Take it home, pay over time, and once you're done, it's yours. And if life throws you a curveball, you've got flexibility with options to return or upgrade along the way. There's no long-term commitment because getting what you need for your home should feel easy. Life doesn't wait. Why should you? Shop Aaron's.com or visit your local Aaron's store today. Approval not guaranteed. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is Mike Boileau of Lexicon Valley.
And I'm Bob Garfield. Are you one of those people who sometimes uses words?
Do you communicate or acquire information with, language?
Hey, us too. So join us on Lexicon Valley to chew over the history, culture, and many mysteries of English, plus some wisecracks.
Find us on one of those apps where people listen to podcasts.
Hey, I'm the medium, and this podcast is for those who wish to understand the wonderful world of spirit. Where do we go when we die? I'll share stories of mine as a medium and other mediums in our journeys, plus you will hear real-life client readings so that you can know without any doubt that your loved ones in spirit are around you all the time. I'm Jen, and this is the Singing Medium Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Singing Medium Podcast. I have an amazing guest on here today. I think, if I do this according to my plan, I think this is the first medium I have on here, a fellow medium who's going to come on here and talk to you guys. I'm excited to introduce her to you. She is Lorena. So you have to look at the notes, because that's not your name. This is Lorena Webb, Butterfly Journey Medium. And everyone who follows me knows who Lorena is because I like to put her out there and share her all the time because she has great gifts and it's just the beginning and she's going to explode really soon. So I thought it's a good time to be on the Singing Medium Podcast, get you out there. So I'm so happy that you're here and you look beautiful. And I love your energy, and people who are going to get to know you very soon, if they don't know you already, are also going to love your energy and your style. And welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This is pretty exciting. My very first podcast.
I was just going to say, I'm psychic. I was going to say, this is your first podcast?
My first.
Yay. You're a newbie. I love newbies on the podcast. This is great. Yeah. So we're just basically, you know me. So, it's just going to be like, let's get Lorraine out here. Let's learn what you're all about. Let's learn your mediumship style. And I had a really cool idea earlier that I ran by you already. Then you're going to do us a little mini reading for me. And the purpose of that is so everyone can see how you work. Because I think one of the biggest things that we need to know, obviously, about mediums is how they work. Like, how do you work, right? Because we all work differently. So obviously I sing, I'm clairaudient, I sing, and you have a different style. You're very grounded. You're very calm and collected. You collect your thoughts before you say anything. And I'm the total opposite where I just vomit all over everyone because spirit talks really fast through me. And you're the opposite, which I love. So it's like yin and the yang. So why don't you introduce yourself however you would like to? And it doesn't have to be, this is what I do. It can be whatever you want to tell everyone. And then we'll dive in from there.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Lorena Webb with the Butterfly Journey. The reason why Jen stumbled on that is because I've gone by Lorraine since I was really, really young child. And some might say I was hiding behind that name. I don't know, but, and I did probably come out as a psychic medium, about 3 years ago. And I did come out as Lorraine. And actually Jen said to me in a reading once that that's not your name. I can't call you that. That's not your name. And I'm like, you're right. So I'm Lorena. Many reasons why I hid behind Lorraine. Anyways, I'm a psychic medium. like I said, sort of came out of the closet about 3 years ago. A real interesting story on how that happened. And actually, I never even called myself a psychic until this past year. Within this year, when I took Jen's mediumship, her first mediumship. The thing about me is I know I'm a medium. I was born a medium, but I kept having to reassure myself and validate it. And I was always looking for courses, and then, okay, what's the next course I can take? And what's the next course I can take? To really validate to myself, because it's like, how can I just talk to dead people? Like, how can this be? So in that course with Jen, the very last class, she said, let's do something different. And we did psychic. And it's like, holy shit, that's who I am. I'm a psychic. Okay. So that was pretty exciting and mind-blowing for me. And now I can use the word freely.
You even have a mug, don't you? That says
I do.
I love it. I saw that picture.
I do. Yeah. Just got that recently. And still it's like, can I use this? I don't know. I kept staring at it every day, and it's like, I want to swear, but geez, I got to own this.
I can put the little block at the bottom, says explicit content if you want. But I love how you're like, a mug defines who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I can't use this mug because it says psychic on it, but totally, of course you can. Of course you can.
Yeah. And I totally, I'm in such a great place where I can finally really, really own who I am. And I think you'll see over time, my audience will see more of me.
Yeah.
Because Spirit's really, really pushing me to get out there.
Yeah, we need more mediums. And someone said to me a couple weeks ago, do you think there's more mediums now because there's more people who are dying? I was like, I wonder. But I'm all about the mediums coming out of the closet, as I'm in a closet right now. But you know what? I'm all about, in the early days, I used to push people. My students would come to me and I'm like, you got to get out there. You got to tell people you're a medium. Like, it's not going to be as horrible. It's like we have this story in our head of like, oh my gosh, if we tell something other people consider weird or odd about us, they're not going to accept us and love us anymore. But they knew you and loved you before. So why wouldn't they still love you and accept you now? Because of something that you do that's going to help people. They might no one has to understand it, right? You don't have to understand it, but you have to.
That's the problem. I think I feel like I have to explain myself.
Yeah.
Or people look at you funny or look at you weird or have different expectations.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why maybe there's more right now is everyone's just going through a huge awakening. Everyone's really discovering their abilities, because and you say this every time, anybody can be a psychic medium. Everybody is a psychic medium.
Not everyone should. Or they can.
No. And I that's another thing. Yes, everyone's doing it now, but are the right people doing it? Are they dabbling in something that they shouldn't? Are they working with the white light?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of darkness.
Yeah, there's stuff people don't know about, like doing the paranormal stuff, like changed my whole perception of things, because you think that those ghost hunter shows are fake, and yeah, it's a little bit dramatic, but like those things are real, and you might not see them on the camera, you might not manifest, like, but we had these tools where you could actually physically see the thing on the camera, and so you knew that you weren't making it up, right? So we had that physical evidence of the energy side of things to be like, these things are real. And what gets me is that the young 20-year-olds are like, I'm a medium, and they make it trendy, and that's great because I know they're here to make mediumship and spirituality sort of more accepted. That's kind of what they're here to do on this planet. But they got it, like, you guys you have no clue what's out there. Like, you could think you have a grandma, and it's really like something that's pretending to be a grandma. So it's not to scare people who are listening who want to be mediums. It's not to say that you're not a good medium. It's just saying there's so much more to mediumship than at the surface level.
I 100% agree. And it's not like, and people see us, they see us jump on the camera and talk and stuff. They don't know the behind the scenes. They don't know behind what we do to prepare before a reading. The protection we have to have, or the energy draining. You know, you could do one reading, you could do 3 reading, like 3-4 hours, absolutely drained by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot people don't understand about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard for us to explain too, right? So we're kind of, with the draining thing, I'd say that sort of spirit uses our bodies, because our electromagnetic field uses us as sort of a battery or like an electric current, so they can manifest and actually communicate with us on this dimension, on this plane, which is kind of hard for them to do. And in turn, it's hard for us because we have to like work overtime, and we have to like put everything we've got into, like, what are you saying? Because I always tell my clients, like, it's not like they go, hey, Jen, my name is Joe and I worked on a farm and I did this, this, and this. And my person, they don't do that. It's like, here's a song, here's a vision, here's a word, here's a feeling, here's a knowing. And you got to, like, the whole time you're putting this all together. So, yeah, I can see why I get drained as well, but I can also see where you're coming from.
Oh, it's like, okay, great. I have a grandmother here. It's like, okay, what do you want to say? It's like, talk. Sometimes they're just there, and it's like, okay, this is great, but you got to give me something. And especially if you're doing a live, you can have like a dozen of them in the room with you, and you're trying to figure out who's for who and what the messages are. And yeah, it's a lot of work. And maybe I work differently than other mediums. And I know when I started, I asked my guides that all my readings be healing. That was the big thing for me. I wanted them to be healing. And I always said, the way I prepared for a reading was, what does that person need to hear today? What does Jen need to know today? So my readings tend to be in the here and now. I haven't really figured out my timelines, but they're pretty short, because it's the here and now, and there always has to be healing in that.
So you're talking about psychic reading now, yes?
Both, I think.
Okay.
Because mediumship, if you're connecting with a loved one, it's usually something you really need to hear from them. So I find them both very healing.
Yeah, I did notice that when I was watching a couple of your lives on Instagram, that you do like a lot of, it's focused on the message.
Yes.
So for me, like it just, for comparison's sake and other mediums, mine is more evidential based. Like, not saying you don't do, you give a lot of evidence. I'm just saying there is different styles. And that's the awesome thing about mediums, is that you have like an abundance of mediums to choose from, right? And they all have different styles, and they're all going to be different. And I think that's really great that we have that, you guys have that choice to go to who you feel you're drawn to, who you feel is a good match, and then go and like try out other mediums too, because you're going to get different things, because spirit uses us differently in different ways. So
right. Yeah, we're all very, I went to psychics and mediums for years and years, when I didn't, I guess, believe that I was one. But even as a psychic or a medium, you still need to go to a psychic or a medium to get a reading, because you can't read yourself, really. I mean, you do, but you don't, like, because our guides tell us all kinds of shit, whether we listen or not, or you need validation. But where was I going with that? They were all so different. Also different.
I think it's good though.
Yes.
Yeah. And I am noticing a change in the energy in the beginning. When I first started being a medium, there was a lot of competition. Like in my experience, there was a lot of like nastiness out there. I called it like a high school for mediums. It was ridiculous. It was like cliques, and that medium was like slandering another medium, and it just feels a lot better now. It feels like there's none of that going on, at least not that I know of behind my back anyways. And I'm sure you have not experienced that. In the last episode, I talk about getting some hate mail, which I'm sure you haven't had the pleasure of receiving hate mail from your fans. So that's good.
No. Not yet. I hope I never do.
No, me either. That's not a fun. That was in my early days before I knew about appreciation and there's no competition and all that good stuff. But things can happen. Do you have a story where like maybe because I also have an episode coming out called "Reading's Gone Wrong." It's probably the one just before you come out and your episode. But have you ever had a reading that went really, really like totally disarray, total craziness, total like? Because I've got some stories. We'll talk about the good ones too. But do you have one that sticks out in your mind at all? Or are they all just
No,
fabulous? They're
I,
fabulous.
I have not
Great.
had go wrong yet.
Good. How
Uh,
long how long have you been professionally reading for people?
3 years.
Okay.
3 years, but in that 3 years, I was really, maybe it was four, yeah, about 4 years. But so much has happened in that time frame. And it was always like I felt like I was being told to take a break. You can't read right now. Like, I came out after I found out my husband was sick with cancer.
Mhm.
And that's how I came out. And then, so I spent a year taking care of him and then get back on the train and things are going well. And then, oh, I forget what happened in between there. And then my dad got ill. So I
Mhm.
had to take time off and I cared for him for 6 weeks until he passed. And then, I had to give myself that grieving time. So there was always blips
Right.
um, in my work, but I feel like I'm going strong now.
Awesome.
I'm praying that there's no more.
Right. So sometimes when someone passes, it is a catalyst for change or growth or transformation. And so did the passing of your father have anything to do with your transformation as a medium or in any other regards?
I feel that it is. He was really supportive and a big believer. And I kick myself for why did I wait so long?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I feel like I can call on him now if I feel like I really need that strength and or if I'm nervous about a reading or I just feel his presence in my work in a really positive way.
Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
I'm sure he's a big cheerleader and helping me on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, a lot of people, clients especially who are listening, don't really know this, is that when someone dies, and you don't have to be a medium, but they become one of your helpers. They
Yeah.
become sometimes they become a guide. I have a student in one of the classes. She's like, I can't find my guides. I can't find my guides, Jen. I did everything. I did a meditation. I did all these things. I stood on my head upside down. I can't find my guides. And then she proceeded to tell a story about how she was in her basement staging something. And she's like, I felt 5 of my loved ones, my dad, my mom, my brothers, my uncle was around me, and they're all yelling at me about something. I'm like, what if your family is your guide? No, she's like, oh my God. Like you don't even think of it because you have this expectation that
Right.
a spirit guide or a loved one should look a certain way or it should happen a certain way. And with the spirit world, that's why I love the spirit world so much, is because it's so full of things that you don't expect. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that like you learn and you become more like that. So it just anyways, I love everything about mediumship. So and I'm so glad that you're a medium too, and everyone else who's listening who wants to become a medium, I highly recommend you pursuing this with
Do you
care.
find that your guides change? Do you get
Yeah, so I used to have, so the first time I ever knew who my guides were, I had a painting done. Like a really beautiful artist did this painting. She went in meditation and she goes, come back in 6 hours and I'll have a painting for you of what your guides look like. I'm like, what? It's a cool service. So we came back, and it was like, it was a man, a woman with blonde hair, and then there was a young child, which makes sense because at the time I was a kindergarten teacher, and I'm very drawn to kids. And then there was a crow, and I was like, this like felt so amazing to me. And then after a couple years, I did some more trainings and stuff like that. And I had one mentor who I didn't love the most, but she's like, your guides are ridiculous. She goes, there's no reason why you should have this and this happen to you when you're doing mediumship readings. It doesn't make any sense. You should fire them. And I remember them. I'm like, okay, fine, you guys are fired. And then they came back to me in meditation a couple months later, and they were all upgraded. So they had like almost like Star Trek looking suits on, and I knew they had done the work and upgraded and stopped messing around because, I had a lot of crazy things happened to me in my early mediumship days. I was like, okay, we need some hardcore help here. So yeah, they've changed and grown, and new ones come in and out and that kind of stuff, which happens. It happens.
Yeah.
You might not have the same guides all the time too, but as
Yeah.
you change and grow, I feel like they also must do that. Do you think, what do you feel
I
about that?
think so, absolutely, because I've had a few new ones, and as you, as you change, because I had a new one come in, and I'm like, well, and she's so fun and she's so lively, and so I understand why she came in and what she's trying to do, and the timing was perfect.
Well, don't you have a guy that was really hardcore, like wouldn't let me in? I did a reading for you one
Yeah.
time. It's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I need to read for Lorraine, so I need you to step aside. No, I will not. I was like, whoa, that was the first time I had a guide really like not let me in. Like solid, you're not coming in here. Who the hell are you? Kind of thing.
I work so hard on my protection.
Yeah, I can tell.
So my guides are so protective. And that's because I was thinking of this before I came onto the podcast. Before I practiced being a medium psychic and wasn't really sure what was going on or my abilities. I knew I could always see spirit and communicate with spirit, but I had a real hard time going in public because I just picked up everyone's energy. And, if the lady in the lineup in front of me was sick, I'm feeling terribly ill. It got to the point where I wouldn't go out.
Mhm.
I couldn't go for supper. I couldn't go to a movie theater. I couldn't go to crowded places, but I didn't understand the energy.
Right.
So once that was explained to me, and I worked with a mentor on that, I just put my protections up so high.
Mhm.
So I think that's the reason why they're so protective.
But that's good though. I'm the opposite. Hey, you want to come in? You dirty
Yeah.
scoundrel. Get in here. It's okay. We don't mind. Right. So I have the opposite problem.
You are. And that's why I feel that you get really, I was going to say really attacked, but that's not fair. But you do get psychically attacked.
Yes, quite often.
You
More than I should, I think.
you do kind of attract not always the best energy. And having said that, going back on what you were saying about you don't find that there's so much competition and jealousy, I have to disagree for you.
Right.
Because I think that's why you get attacked.
What, that there is?
And it a lot of it is not even intentional.
Mhm.
It's a lot of envy.
Makes sense. It's kind of like the shadow side. You know what I mean? I think that's why I get a lot of that kind of thing because of the shadow work maybe that I do or don't do. Right? Because trust me, I beat myself up all the time saying, doesn't matter what I do, there's still more coming at me. And if you're listening and you're a medium, I hope that you have very, very good protection like Lorraine does, and that you're not going through what I have gone through. Like I have stories. I should do a whole podcast episode on like all the stuff that happens at the first beginning. Right. So yeah, it's all good though. It's part of the learning. I love all of it. It's just part of the experience, and to me it's all love, even though it is dark and kind of sad sometimes and freaky, but I just think it's all part of the learning. So it's what I signed up for.
It's part of the learning and part of the growth. And I think all of that attack is kind of, going to come back on them, and they're going to learn from it as well. Because like I said, I don't think a lot of it or most of it, 90% of it is intentional.
Yeah.
I think people don't understand
Mm-hmm.
their own powers and what their thoughts can manifest into.
Yeah, that could be another episode too. How do your thoughts affect your life? How does it affect other people?
Or other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're sitting in line with that woman and now you're good now, did you ever have a Teresa Caputo moment where you could not leave the place unless you told someone that they had someone with them?
Yes, but not in public. Like it seems every time I go to a function, it could be like a a family gathering, but with other,
Mhm.
not necessarily my own family. There's always that moment, like, okay, I'm trying to ignore you. I'm trying to ignore your father standing behind you until I finally have to say sorry. But, you know, you have a father that passed, blah, blah, blah. So yes,
I'm
that's
curious. I'm
happened.
curious. Why do you say sorry? Why do you say sorry? Your dad is there. Because I feel like 99% of the people would be like, "Oh my God, that is awesome."
And they receive it really well,
Yeah.
because I have this rule about me with my guides that when I'm at work, I'm at work. So, you know, turn the light switch on or punch the card, whatever, however you want to do it. These are my hours. I'm at work. And I did that because they were keeping me up all night. It was ridiculous. So I had to learn strong boundaries with my guides. So now when I run to the grocery store or wherever, I'm not Lorena the medium. I'm just Lorena. I'm going to buy milk or whatever. So when I go out for a social function, it's like I just want to go out and have a nice time with my husband or family, friends, or whatever. But then there's always those exceptions where that, you know, that message, that person really, really needs that message. And it's always that healing message. They never got that closure with their father that passed, or it's probably, you know, mostly every time it's happened, it's been a sudden death.
Okay.
Or something wasn't said.
Yeah.
So I let those exceptions in.
Well, there's always exceptions to the rule,
Yes.
especially with spirit, because spirit can be very persistent.
How about you when you go out in public?
Not anymore. Well, that's not true. So I was in the drive-through one. I think I put it on my Instagram story about this woman who was the cashier at McDonald's, and I'm like, oh my God, her dad is standing right behind her with his arm on her shoulder. Do I tell her? No, I'm not telling the McDonald's lady that there's a man behind her. But more in my earlier days, I did. I think I stopped a couple people on the street. I had someone at a gym that I was working out of. I had my office in a gym, and the person at the counter, the juice bar. And sometimes I forget. I would forget to be like, "Hey, excuse me. Is it okay if I tell you something?" I would just go, "Bleh, there's like a dead person behind you," and they start bawling their eyes out, and I'm like, "Oh my God." So, like, I think it's really, you have to be really responsible as well. You got to
Right.
be responsible in your work too, and make sure how you present it and the way you present it, and has to be very sensitive, right? Because there's some deaths out there that they're not just like grandma died of cancer and fell asleep in the bed. There's some, people can pass from some really traumatic things. So you have to also be very mindful, not you, but people listening, you have to be more
Right.
mindful, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, but it's all part of learning. Honestly, I think this is like one of the biggest learning experiences I've ever had, of being a medium.
Me too. And it's constantly changing.
Yes.
As soon as you think you like, you have your, you know, psychic or medium dictionary,
Yeah, change
which they change it.
Whoops, just kidding. You're
Okay,
not
well,
the guardian
so
anymore.
I don't get it. What does this mean now, though? Why are you changing it?
Yes. Why does this rose not mean what it means before? Now it means something else. So
Right.
I've been lucky. It hasn't changed in a while. I've been very lucky. Like, the things still mean the thing. I'll get new songs in and I gotta feel what the song means, but like the rest of it is, I think the past 2 years I've had the same sort of dictionary. So do you want to explain to the audience who doesn't know what a dictionary means, like a mediumship dictionary is, so they understand?
So it could be symbols. It could be, for example, what sticks out to me, because that's the one that just changed, is a watch.
Okay.
So usually, you know, a watch means a watch. But no, like, it's like now it's like, for me, it's like time.
Okay.
It's when I see a watch, it's a symbol of time. Trying to think of another obvious kind of one. Because a lot of times I don't get symbols, I get, because I feel.
Right. You're
So
very
if you know, somebody passed of a heart attack, I have excruciating heart pain.
Oh,
Yeah.
where are your
But
guides then?
they've gotten a little better with that. I'm trying to think of another obvious one.
Yeah, for me, it used to be a song. So if someone died and they left their car behind and their son or daughter had possession of that car, they would say, "Baby, you can drive my car. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I'm gonna be." But now it's just like, here's the car. I'm
That's
like, oh,
cool.
that's boring.
Yeah.
It used to be very entertaining when I would do fundraisers, like live events for hundreds of people and have a microphone and stuff like that. But I guess I don't think the song is necessary anymore. So it's just saying, here's a car. Now they'll give me like the brand name of the car. Sorry, not a brand name. They'll give me the type of car, the style of car, right? So spirit uses what you're good at. Spirit knows what you know, like the knowledge that you have in your human life. So spirit knows that I've grown up with Chad in 25 years, 30 plus years. I'm telling Chad, who's a car guy. So driving around with Chad when we were like 20, there's a Mustang, there's a Corvette, there's a this, and that's how I sort of built that knowledge back then in preparation for when I'm 47 and I'm doing, talking to dead people and they're saying, oh, this knowledge is helpful now. So you never know, like in your
No,
life, you never know what you're learning and why you know this knowledge. Like, for instance, my dad would play like constant music in the house all the time. So the Beatles, like 60s music on the radio. So that's why I know almost every lyric to every song from like the 60s to today, but I can't find my keys, because spirit knows that's going to be helpful in mediumship, but you never know until you get there. Which
right.
I love. I love that.
I
So
know.
you used to see a watch in your mind's eye. So I'm just trying to explain it to like
Right.
the audience. So you used to have a vision in your mind's eye of a watch, and it would be like, okay, this man had a watch, and maybe someone has the
Right.
watch. But now you're saying it's changed. Spirit has changed your dictionary, your meanings of what you're seeing clairvoyantly, and now it means time.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, I'm trying to still decipher, okay, time, but is it like time
Mm.
went too fast or I went too fast? Like it was too quick.
Okay.
Um,
They like
yeah,
to keep us on our toes, eh?
they are always keeping us on our toes. And yeah, it's like I call it having my meeting. A lot of people and or mediums, they have their little, and everybody meditates every day and their routine. And for me, it's more like, I still call it my meditation, but it's also my meeting.
Okay. I like that.
It's my morning meeting or whenever. Like
Mhm.
I could be, it could be 4 o'clock in the afternoon and all of a sudden I'll be told I need to go meditate. And I know I need to go have a meeting.
Okay. With
It's
your
like,
guide, just to
yeah,
clarify. Okay.
yeah, a staff meeting with my guides.
Oh, that's great.
And
I like that.
usually it's just a bunch of downloads and um, messages that I need to pass on to people, or
Oh, wow.
it could be anything for myself. Like,
Mhm.
okay, you need to have this special.
Right.
You need to, yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like that. That's how I live my life too. That's why we get along so well.
Mhm.
We like live our life pretty much the same way, make our decisions the same way, and our guys would like go sit down. We're like, okay. Where other people would just be like, no, I'm too busy for that, or I'm just gonna go and wash the dishes instead. But when you're quiet, that's when you get the ideas and the messages and the all the cool shit. That's like you gotta, yeah. So speaking of cool shit, and I did run this past you. I want everyone to see how you work because you're an amazing medium, and you have so much more coming that I would love people to hear how you work because they've heard me work and they know that I sing and funny and yada yada, but you do it differently. And so I would love to showcase that for our audience. And so we had prepared before. I warned her. I said, okay, what do you think of this idea? And she said it was cool. So Lorraine's going to do a little mini reading for me. Now,
Mhm.
for transparency purposes, I don't know. Have you read mediumship wise for me before in an official setting? I think it's most psychic. Yes.
No, it's always been psychic.
Just so everyone knows, she has not read for me before. She has no idea who I have in spirit.
No.
For transparency, I don't have a lot in spirit, but I have 4 or 5 people that always come through who are my main characters, as I like to call them. And I'm very blessed that I only have 4 or 5 in spirit, where I read for people before who have like 20 people. It's just, I'd never want to go through that. So
No.
yeah, if you're open to it, I would love for you to show the audience. And then I get a little mini reading in here from one of my cool peeps. So if you want to do that, let's do that now. What do you say?
Okay, mediumship. Because
Yeah.
I always go with psychic for me.
Psychic's easier for me. Like I find psychic is so much easier. Like I can get that in 2 seconds. Mediumship, you have to prepare. Like
You do. But I do feel grandparents. I wanted to say grandmother at first, but your grandfather's like, I'm here too. So they're together, like a set of grandparents.
Yeah.
I'm hearing paternal, so I'm not sure if they're your father's side.
Yes,
They're the cutest couple.
they are.
They're just so cute. There's so much, they're always together. I feel like they're very much like they were living.
Yes.
They're still that way in spirit. They're really sweet. Like, I feel like grandma baked. Did they have a farmhouse? Because like I'm seeing this farmhouse kitchen, like this kitchen is the main hub of the house.
Yes,
There's
100%.
so much love in that kitchen. It's so like that typical, everybody wants to have that typical grandma kitchen. When they walk in, you just feel like you're home.
Yes, describing it perfectly.
Like even the big table, the fresh baked cookies coming out of the oven. Did your grandfather farm?
Yes, before I would want to say before I knew him, like before I came to this earth, he had a farm, and he always talks about the farm, but I don't know a lot about that, but he always identifies that as being the farmer.
Because I just see a very routine life for them. Like he would come home at a certain, come home or come in at a certain time, and dinner would always be, it's tea and cookie time at this time, and then dinner time. She's always doting on him, but she's like that with everyone.
Yes.
Did you have a lot of sleepovers?
Yeah, so in the summertime we would go spend a lot of time there, but like I have two sets of grandparents who have passed, and this is the stronger one, but I spent more time with them, which is why they come through more.
Okay. And then there was like game night or something. Like I see cards.
My parents need to listen to this right now. Yes, there was cards. I'll explain at the end, so don't, but yeah, there's cards.
It's just so like I love this feeling that they're making me feel. They're very much your protectors. They're around you so much. And your kids. And your kids, they're telling me don't forget about the kids. And somebody really reminds, one of your kids really remind them of you.
Probably my youngest.
I was just gonna say it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in there.
Yes. They love her personality, her innocence. But yet she's kind of like, I'm going to say it like it is.
Yes. So yeah, like me.
There's also somebody around Chad that's very much protecting because of his job.
Okay.
He have a grandfather?
Yes.
In spirit? He's very much around him, but very, very protective.
I can see that.
Like he hops in the truck with him.
Yeah. So let me tell you a quick story about that. Like a couple of years ago, Chad went to work. He was a firefighter in Brampton, and he had his boots. You put your boots beside the truck, kind of thing. And he went to go. They had a call. He went to go put his boots on. There was a dime in his boot. There was a dime on the step, and then like a feather like randomly just like fell from the sky at the same time he was going on this call. So yeah, so it's probably we never knew who it was.
His grandfather.
Yeah.
Because he shows me him climbing up in the truck with him.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, because I mean he has a very dangerous job.
Yes.
And so he's very, very much protective.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there's situations where it's like, holy shit, how didn't
Yes.
I get hurt? How did I survive this?
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Wow. Well, Chad's not home, but when he gets home, I would tell him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like you say, I love to give messages. Your grandparents, your grandmother is telling me that you're too hard on yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So she wants you to stop being so hard on yourself, and just let things go and let things come as they should, is her message.
I hear you, Grandma. I hear you, Grandma. Making
Mhm.
me cry, Grandma. Cut it out. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. That's so beautiful. Wow, that's like that was very good, and I loved watching you work. That was awesome. And as a medium, I hardly ever get readings, and when I do get them, I just like cherish them so much because they're so rare and like far and
right.
few between, So I just like suck it
Oh, I
in,
know.
especially from those grandparents. So the cards is hilarious. That's like one of the biggest pieces of evidence you could have given me. Even though, like, if you're listening and you're a medium and you're practicing, and you just go, "Well, what's the big deal about cards?" That's everything to me. You might not understand it, but that's everything to me. So we would sleep over at their house and that big table you're talking about, they would sit up late and play poker. So my parents, them, my uncles all sit around and play like poker, quote unquote poker, with
Right.
pennies. And they would throw pennies into the middle of the table. So as you're trying to fall asleep as a kid, you're hearing, what would they say? They would tap the table and go check, check, and then they throw a penny in the cards every night. Like I don't think they ever missed a night of playing cards on this table. And it sounds like a grandma thing to do, but like that piece of evidence is like huge to me. And
Mhm.
you really get like the emotion. That's a big piece of being a medium is you want to evoke that emotion and the
Yeah.
memory from someone, your client that you're reading for, because that's like you could have a shitty reading go, you're not getting a lot, but if you say like one thing and evoke an emotion, you nailed it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's a beautiful gift that you have. So thank you so much for that reading.
You're welcome. And I agree with what you're saying, especially now that my dad has passed. It's like I appreciate myself and my gift so much more because,
Yeah.
after every reading I do in mediumship, I think, wow, they're so lucky to get that message from their loved one. And, when you get one, you just cherish it so much.
Yeah. Like it like almost like what's how do I describe it? Like it poked a hole in my heart. I don't know how to explain it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh, oh, I do. I
and
know.
it's like my grandparents, I know they're around and I know that they're like the most strongest ones that would come like if students read from me or whatever is practicing, they come through. But just to hear that just people who are listening knowing that they're okay is huge.
Yeah.
Knowing they're okay, but I have that advantage where I know they're okay and I know they help me and I know they're my guides and I know that they're always with me. And sometimes you just wish that you could just have them back. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure with your dad, you're like, I just wish that you could just give me like an hour to give you a hug. And I don't remember what you look like, and I don't remember what you smell like. And
Mm,
these things are such a gift to have someone tell you and give you like validation and evidence that they're really still there. They're just in a different form.
yes.
Like what a gift that is. Like people who are listening who want to be a medium, it's so I can't even there's not even a word that describes it. You know what I mean?
No,
Do you have a word? I have no words.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's so, and people ask me all the time. And actually, my youngest daughter asked me last night, um, how do you see them? Like, do you see them? Like, how do you see them?
Yeah.
And it's such a hard question. Like I normally see spirit in my mind's eye, but I have actually seen spirit in in all different forms, like the spirit form where it's just this white outline shadow, or, I could just see them as if they're standing in front of me, or I could just, like your grandparents, I could see them in my mind's eye,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it is. Well, to me anyways, but people who are listening maybe not. But I like to describe it as like a movie screen on the inside of your forehead. And you're
Yes,
seeing it through your brain or you're like it is hard to explain.
you're right. A
You can only
movie,
understand if you do it.
a movie is the right way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
inside.
whenever I actually see them in real, like not in my mind, not the movie kind of way, it's like, oh shit, it's usually a serious,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
yeah.
Yeah, usually for me, it's the stronger spirit who I can see as a silhouette on a wall kind of thing. And I also have seen spirit. I'll tell you a funny story. I don't think I've told on the podcast yet. As a learning medium a couple years ago, I was like, okay, I really want to hear, because I'm clairaudient, which means I hear in my head the song,
Mhm.
the words, whatever, the talking, the names. And I said, okay, I would love to hear a physical voice of spirit. Just like let me know that you're actually there. You know what I mean? And of course, when you ask for something, you get it. The spirit world. Careful what you ask for. So I was at the
So,
grocery store, pushing the cart in the parking lot on the way to my car, and I heard not this grandma, but my other grandma, my maternal grandma, go, Jennifer, and I like, oh my god, like in her tone and the way she would say it, and I freaked out, and I like, I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear more. And so I like put the cart away. I jumped in my car and drove away. I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear anymore. So it's good that you hear it in your head. It's not, and maybe someone who's listening, like, how do you know the difference between your voice and their voice? So,
yes.
yeah, what's the difference?
I asked myself that too. Before I like I was practicing medium. That's all I ever heard, always is voices, people calling my name, random conversations, people giving, like spirits giving me different names. And it's like, what is going on? You actually think you're crazy.
Yes.
You
Until,
do.
until you know.
Yeah. And most mediums and psychics, and most that I know, all suffered some sort of depression,
Mm-hmm.
because it's that stage where you don't know what the hell's going on with you, and you do think you're crazy. And like me, I couldn't go out in public.
Yeah.
So naturally that's going to cause some sort of depression.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great to clear all that up and understand that you're not actually crazy, and these voices actually aren't just voices in your head that you need medication for.
I'm gonna say like bipolar. Somebody get diagnosed with bipolar, ADHD. I'm not saying that these are not valid things. They
Mhm.
are. They're very serious, and to obviously go get that checked out with a doctor. But like I know to be true that our brains have to be wired a little bit differently, and a lot of psychics and mediums do suffer from depression in the beginning because
Right.
they do. It's so overwhelming, like the energy and the sensitivity in your field and your body, like it affects your body. Like
Yeah,
you're saying about the heart
100%.
attack, like I would like to be hooked up to a machine as I'm doing a reading and have them measure scientifically or medically or whatever to see what happens to our body, to my body when I'm doing this. What's happening to my brain, what's happening to my heart, because these feelings are real. They're not, I call them phantom pains because they're not actually physically happening to us, but sometimes we don't know the difference when we're first learning if this is we're having a heart attack or if there's spirit around. So now I had to learn through the process too. Is this me or is this a spirit or is it a crowd? Is it someone in the crowd? So there's like, again, with these 20-year-olds saying I'm a medium, I'm like, oh my God, like I cringe every time because I'm like, you guys have no idea what like is about to happen to you.
I do sort of like a in the morning before I even get out of bed, I protect myself. I bubble myself in white light, but I do also kind of like a scan, like, okay, I'm feeling fine. I don't have aches and pains. I don't have a headache. I'm all
Hey.
good. I bubbled myself. I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So if I suddenly, like yesterday before I did my live, it's like I have a terrible pain across the middle of my back. It's like, okay, I know that's a spirit
Yes.
that's going to step in tonight to give a message. Or I suddenly have a terrible headache.
Mhm.
But this came with years of learning,
Mhm.
years of learning this.
It does take years, and people are like, "Oh, here's one class, and I'm a medium." No,
No.
because I did that. No, I'll be completely true. I did that. I thought I was like the know all be all. I took a class. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna do events, and that there's one medium who like attacked me or just said, "What are you doing?" But I wish I had listened to her, but I didn't because I'm stubborn. I'm me.
Hmm.
You don't want to just go straight out of the gate, one class and out. It takes years. Like the mediums that I study under sometimes are like 30 years experience and they've been doing it for a long time, so they know their stuff.
Right.
I believe that. I mean, I don't take classes all the time, like constantly after the other, but I do when one calls to me, I will take it because I
Right.
want to keep developing. I want to get better. I want to get stronger. I want to get, it's not even just for my own ego self. It's like, I just want to keep doing this because this is
Well,
amazing.
there's always so much to learn. And I always say if I learned one thing out of this whole course, then I've walked away with something. But no, even being born a medium, like I always see in spirit,
Lucky.
but I still feel like, I've calmed down on taking classes now, but I'm sure in the new year I'll find something that's calling me.
Well, maybe spirit school or something. That starts in January. I don't know. Just saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And even yeah, because there's a lot in that spirit school that I know nothing of. Astrology, nothing. I know nothing about that. But yet and I get these questions all the time. It's like, oh, yeah, that's it. A full moon's coming. Oh, an eclipse is coming. That's why I'm feeling like this. And people are always messaging me and saying, what's going on with the stars? Because,
Do I look like an astrologer to
and I
you?
can't give that advice because I don't know. I'm
We don't
feeling
know
the same
everything.
you're feeling.
Yeah, we don't know everything.
No.
We just know what we know at the point that we're at,
And I don't need to be good at everything.
No.
But yeah, the astrology is fascinating, especially with mediums. It's fascinating.
Sometimes they go hand in hand without you knowing. Like I know, maybe not mediumship wise, but I know like psychic wise when something's up. And then I'll DM Court, Bravely Beautiful man. I'll be like, yo, what's happening with the planets? Because I knew at 12:59 today she goes, oh my God, that's exactly when it changed over to the Taurus moon. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I just know that something's funky, okay? So it can add to, like, these things can add to your mediumship, and like you can always be open to, because that's what the spirit world is. The more open you are, the better. And the more you don't fear the unknown, the better off you're going to be.
Right.
So,
or try and resist. And that's a big turning point in my career is I stopped resisting because I knew I was a medium. I knew I seen spirit. I stuffed it in the closet. I pretended this wasn't happening. And so I became physically ill.
Yeah.
Once I surrendered and said, okay, I'm not going to ignore this anymore. It was a whole new world.
Literally.
It literally.
The unknown spirit world. And it, like, obviously we could be like learning forever, because how can you learn about the spirit world in like a whole lifetime? There's so much that we don't even know that exists out there till we get there.
Right.
When it's our turn, I'll channel a book to you. I'll be like, Lorraine, this is what's happening up here. Write this down and be a famous author. Why am I going before you? I don't know. Are we the same age? I don't know. I don't know why I said that. Maybe you're supposed to write a book. Sometimes spirit tell me psychic things as a joke, and I'm talking to someone in a conversation I don't even know. So maybe you're supposed to write a book.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. Anything is possible.
I think if somebody, I don't know if it was you or somebody has said that to me before.
I can see that for you. Yeah, but just like everything, it requires discipline, which I lack sometimes, most of the time. Like, yeah, you got to sit down and you have to do the work. Kind of like mediumship, you got to sit down, make the time, do the work, be committed, meditate, and then have fun. Yeah, having fun is the most important thing, I think. If you're not having fun, why are you doing this?
That's exactly it. And yeah, I talk about that all the time about, I love what I do, and for so many reasons. And once I stop loving that, then I won't do it. I can't.
No, because then it's just work. Ugh.
And that's why another thing, back to boundaries and my work hours, I have to be strict about, because then if not, I'm just getting burnt out, or I'm getting annoyed that people are constantly DMing me for asking me questions and asking me to work for free here on my non-hours.
Right. At midnight on a Thursday.
Yes.
Because you would call a dentist at midnight on Thursday. Can you fix my tooth? How do I fix my tooth? I don't think you would call a dentist. So yeah, it's slowly coming around where it's more acceptable. we're getting stronger in the boundaries, and other people are feeling that energy. And yeah, it's awesome. So what's next for Lorena Butterfly Journey?
I don't know, but I feel like it's going to be a wonderful year coming up for me.
Yes.
Busy, more being, standing in my truth, more getting out there, more sharing my stories, because there's lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my audience can really relate or heal from my
Yes.
traumas and my past. And so I don't know.
I like that. You don't know. I don't know either.
And that's okay.
Yeah. What do we need to know?
I know. Well, lots is happening with you. Like Miss International.
Not officially. I did though, but Court was the one who told me that 2022 was going to be the year for me, and I hope it's going to be the year for everyone else, because we've had a couple of crappy years that
Yes.
they were what they were and they are what they are. But I feel like it's starting to turn a little bit of a corner. There's still some crazy stuff going on, but
Yeah.
ain't nothing we can't handle, right? Because we know we have spirit on our side, we've got the universe on our side, and we're golden. So let's tell everyone where they can find you. You want to find the wonderful Lorena?
I have a web site, The Butterfly Journey with Lorena.
Right.
I have a Facebook page, Lorena Webb, The Butterfly Journey. Instagram, Butterfly Journey with Lorraine.
I like how you switched that there.
I know. I guess I should change that. But yeah, I'm around. I'm on social media all over the place. I am doing a live little event in my little hometown coming up. So that's pretty exciting.
That is very exciting. Live events again. Oh my God.
I know, finally.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be one-on-ones and in a room, but it's still getting out there. And I haven't done a in-person reading in probably 2 years.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a different energy sometimes when you're.
It is. But I'm not minding the remote.
No, I'm okay with online too. I told someone the other day it's a client thing. If you want in person and you think it's different, it's not. That's a client perspective. For us, it works exactly the same.
Exactly.
I don't need you to come to Beaverton and record the podcast. It works just great, as if you're right in the closet here talking to me. It's all good. So, well,
all energy.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast, my first medium. And I love that we are, Spirit has brought us together for whatever reason. I feel like it's very easy and flowy, and that's the kind of people I'm looking for. So if you want a reading, I highly recommend you go check out Lorena/Lorraine and go get a reading from her. You'll not be disappointed, as you just witnessed. She poked a little hole in my heart here. And I hope that we will see you very soon. Okay. Thanks, Lorena.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. Come on back. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Singing Medium podcast, and stay tuned for the next episode.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.